This recipe came from Homesteading with the Zimmermans. And I don't know about you, but I love watching Amish and Mennonite families, their videos. They have amazing recipes, and they also have fantastic canning tips, which I love. So anyway, this recipe calls for 3/4 cup of discard sourdough starter discard. You can either use active starter or discard, and I'm just kind of mixed up a couple of my discards that I had here. One's from the video from yesterday that I posted, and then this is just one from my more mature sourdough starter. So we're just going to put this into a mixing bowl. Preheat your oven to 350. You're going to bake it at 350. And then we're going to do 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I'm going to get all of that out of there. And then we have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to give that a mix. It doesn't look like a lot here, but we're going to spread this out really thin on a baking sheet, and it makes about 2 to 2.5 dozen crackers. You can add seasoning to this if you'd like while you're mixing it before you bake it, but I prefer to put the seasonings on after they've already baked. I'm just going to dump it all on here. I'm going to throw these into the oven for 10 minutes to start with, and it's set at 350. But I might bring you along for this. I'm going to feed my start here in just a second. There's about, maybe a tablespoon or 2 in here. So this is how I feed my start. There's about 2 tablespoons in there. Like I said, I don't weigh this stuff out. I just kind of go with it. This is a 1/2 cup, and the thing is, you want to put more flour and water in your starter more than what's in there. You want to feed it really good. So we're going to I'm going to start with a 1/2 cup there. I might put just a little bit more. And about a 1/2 cup of water. You can always add more flour or add more water to this to get it to your liking, the thickness. Some people like a thicker dough, and some people like a thinner. I'm going to add a little bit more water. You want to give it a really good mix. You want that air incorporated into the starter. So I will just set this off to the side, and once it gets bubbly and it rises, if you're not going to use it, then just put it back into your refrigerator. But wait until it rises before you put it back into your refrigerator. But that's how you feed your sourdough start. It's been 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and score the crackers, which basically means you're just going to, put lines in them. You just use a pizza cutter or a knife, whatever you have. So we're just going to, this pan is hot. Just going to score these. You can make them as big or as small as you like. The kids seem to like the bigger bites of chips, so I tried to make them a little bit bigger. Okay, back into the oven for another 20 minutes or so. I'm working on my 3rd batch here while those are in the oven. You can 100% double this recipe, triple this recipe, however you want to do it, however many you want to make. For video purposes, I was just doing it 1 batch at a time. I pulled these out of the oven. They probably have maybe 5 or 10 minutes left to go, but I'm going to spray some butter on here just to make them a little bit flakier, crispier. And I'm using my MISTO sprayer that I have. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend these things. They're fantastic. But it's called a MISTO sprayer, and I usually keep olive oil in here. This is not sponsored or anything like that. This is just an excellent product. I have melted butter in there, but you just pump this up. I usually put olive oil in here. Watch this. Do you see that? I mean, this thing is fantastic. If you're going to put melted butter in there, though, it gets clogged up. So you have to like do it quick while it's melted, and be sure to rinse out the sprayer when you're done doing that. But so there's that. I just wanted to tell you some of the ingredients into the canned stuff. It's got like soybean oil. I don't know how bad that is. Propellant, propane, butane. You know, I guess to make it spray or keep it pressurized in the can or whatever. And then this thing just uses air. You just pump air into it. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I'm gonna put these back in the oven. I have my MISTO sprayer with the butter in it sitting on my hot stove. I mean, why not? And I also put my my starter over here too. This is not hot by any means, but it is warm. So, you know, might as well give it a kickstart here. So I've got my starter sitting up here and my butter. All right, these are looking good. So they were in the oven for 10 minutes. I pulled them out and scored them. They've been in there for a total of about 30 minutes. Right now, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt. I've got butter on here, a little bit of salt. That's the best thing about these. You don't have to put any seasoning on here. You know, you can just eat them just like that. You don't even have to add salt. Just, you know, however you want to do it. So I'm going to put a little bit of this rich seasoning on here. I'm trying to get these as close to the flavor of potato chips as possible for, you know, the kids' liking. But they are really good. They are really good. I pulled these out. You just kind of have to keep an eye on them. The first batch I did turned out just a little too brown for me. So these look perfect. You can put this seasoning in a Ziploc baggie or a bowl with a lid on it or whatever, and just kind of shake them up, you know, to coat all the sides. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of raise up my parchment paper here and make my own little bag. Let's break these up. See these little pieces here, all the crunchies, all the leftover crunchies, you can just put them in a separate container and use those for casseroles or whatever. So here's the smaller pieces, the kind of crunchier pieces. I'll crunch those up a little bit more, and then I'll just put those in a separate container, and that'll be perfect on top of a casserole.